Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure unboxing video, and we are going to be cracking into a figure that I have been looking forward to ever since its announcement. Figured since we've been taking a look at so many Ichiban and Kuji figures lately, I wanted to give a little break from those bad boys and open up a classic Bam Presto figure. And not just any Bam Presto figure, the highly anticipated Dragon Ball Z Matchmaker's Trunks. Now, lots of reasons why this figure is highly anticipated. For one, obviously getting a Trunks figure is always a treat because, of course, 9 times out of 10 they end up being pretty good because we don't get too many of them. As well, obviously, this being a Matchmaker's figure, this figure is also paired with the Android 18 that you see on the side. Funny enough, I do not actually have this Android 18 yet. I would like to get it at some point, but I just haven't been able to get my hands on it for a good price, and I have to say that I definitely prefer the sculpt on Trunks. And speaking of which, I believe that this figure was indeed sculpted by the boy Varroque. On-screen Theo can give you a little hint about that. But yes, I believe he also sculpted the Android 18 too, which I think he talked about on Twitter was actually his very first female figure for Dragon Ball that he sculpted, which was pretty interesting. It's definitely not bad. It's not my favorite piece of work that he's ever done, but I think it looks better than a lot of the other Android 18s out there, that's for sure. However, this Trunks is also very important because this is the first figure, at least in modern time, and honestly that I've ever seen in my history of figure collecting, where my boy is obviously wearing the black shirt. And obviously, this is a look that is really, really good on Trunks, and we barely ever get to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got in the box. So obviously, we have our plastic here. He comes in a few different pieces on the conveyor belt, so to speak. Let's just go ahead and go one by one, I guess. We will rip the plastic for the base. Okay, I like this already. I thought this was a cheap black base, but no, this is one of those ones that, oh no, it is a cheap black base. Never mind. Dang it. It's just the simple black, which is fine. I mean, it works for what it is. I will say, it is very nice that this is pretty small because a lot of the time for figures like this, they make these bases like way too big for literally no reason. Let's go ahead and plug that bad boy in real quick. Bada boom. Easy clap, and then we will get him out. The nice thing about this figure is that it is pretty simple. You know, it's literally just 2 pieces, and he is going to be a little bit of a smaller figure. Let's go ahead and get his legs out here. Let's take a look at the leg sculpt as well. That looks absolutely fantastic. I love the way that they did the belt. The pant sculpt looks really good. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that seam line though, but I know that's not obviously the sculptor's fault. That's the production side of things. I love his shoes. Those are like perfect Trunks shoes, if I do say so myself. I know that's kind of a weird thing to comment on, but obviously when you're looking at a figure, every part of the figure is important. I will say I am very surprised that in the packaging, by the way, the face looks great even before I take it out of the bag. They did just have those bangs just kind of in there without any protection. That is really surprising. I guess they were just that confident in the bag doing its job, but let's go ahead and be careful as we get them out of here. But yeah, I'm really surprised because most of the time when they have some like delicate part of a prize figure, they have like a little bit more protection on it, especially considering think about, I'm obviously just buying this off of Amazon, which by the way, I got my copy for around 25 bucks with tax. These are also Crane game prizes, so these are obviously like fallen in to the receptacle for the Crane game. So it's kind of interesting that they didn't put any protection, but wow! The face sculpt on Trunks is perfect. Hey, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a better sculpt than that for my boy. It's so funny because I love the bangs, but I almost wish for this very moment they weren't there so we could get a better look at the full face without the bangs in the way. But they look absolutely fantastic. I really, really like the sculpting on the black shirt as well. It looks great. His hair sculpt is quite literally perfect for the Trunks Super Saiyan flow. I like that a lot. And one beautiful thing about this figure is the very nicely sculpted watch. The watch is such a tiny detail on this figure, but it's so cool that it's there. And the detail on it is immaculate. let's go ahead and slam my bad boy together, which is nice because the way that this figure fits together, you can't really tell that it was ever two pieces, and the belt looks like it was just natural, which is very, very nice. Obviously, the shirt sort of like hangs over the edge of the other side of the figure. And there is the boy all put together in one piece. That looks really, really nice. Obviously, there are a bunch of different angles, really, that you could display this guy. I do want to say another really cool thing is the back of his hair. I know that is kind of a weird thing to comment on, but it definitely looks like how it's supposed to, where it's sort of just like they took shade, you know, they went and gave him a buzz cut. That's the word I was trying to think of, on the back of his head, and then obviously his hair spiked up. Yeah, really, really good job on the sculpt there. Obviously, like I said, I believe that Varrock was a sculptor. You would have already seen that on the screen. So if that is the case, you know, it definitely doesn't surprise me they did such a good job. All right, let's go ahead and fit that in. Ooh, that is a very tight fit, which is good because obviously these figures that hang in the air like this, you really want them to have a tight fit. I'll actually show you one of the figures we're going to compare this guy to. Is one reason why I talk about why stands are so important. All right. I think that should be in there good. Yep, and there he is hanging from the stand. That looks really, really cool as well. The angle, I think, is literally perfect. Absolutely perfect, if I do say so myself. Looks really, really cool. Definitely a lot of display angles, because that's another thing, right? I feel like with some figures, you can only get like one or two main angles that you would pick for a figure. But this guy has plenty, if I do say so myself. Very, very nice. Again, also the angle, even though it's like kind of at this weird downward angle, I still think his face looks pretty good dashing at the camera like this. Alright, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons now. Of course, getting our two usual picks out of the way, we have the WCF Dokkan Super Saiyan Blue Goku and the Ichiban Kuji Gotenks. My man does beat out Trunks by just a little bit, but obviously that's because he's got a huge head of hair. And in terms of measurement, my boy stands at about, to the camera, that looks like 8 inches. And I think I am going to, let's go ahead and pull the camera in actually a little bit. Let me tilt her down, and then we'll get a little bit closer in. To me, that looks more like 8 to the top of his fingers. That's definitely what it looks like. Camera angles can be deceiving in terms of how high this is, but 8 inches definitely seems to be correct for his size. Which obviously, this figure is pretty small. Of course, prize figures tend to be a little bit smaller anyway, and usually Varrock's sculpts are pretty small. So let's go ahead and grab two figures to compare this guy to. Starting us off, we have the Dragon Ball Heroes Trunks, and the reason why I'm bringing this guy out is because I think this is a great example comparing these two figures of how not to sculpt a Trunks figure, because you can tell the difference in the way that the hair looks easily here. Obviously, the Super Saiyan look on the Matchmaker's Trunks looks fantastic compared to the very messy look of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes one. And not that I don't like this figure, but I definitely think that it definitely doesn't capture Trunks' likeness as much as a couple of other Trunks figures do. Obviously, it is cool to see these two together, and it is nice, obviously, to have the black shirt look next to any other Trunks look, if I'm being honest. So I don't quite mind these two sitting here together. But enough of him. Let me show you the main figure that I wanted to actually give you a look at today, and that is Varrock's figure. Gotta dust the base off, that put the boy on the map. That's right, we have the Dragon Ball Z, I guess we'll just call this versus King Cold, 2017 World Figure Coliseum Prize winner Trunks. This figure was the figure that actually put the boy Varrock on the map. This was the figure that kind of got him into the world of Dragon Ball figure sculpting, and it's kind of interesting to see comparatively, obviously over time, him sculpting these two different Trunks. Of course, 2017 being the original, and now we have this figure from 2021. He definitely has improved a lot, because I always thought that this was one of the best Trunks figures, and I still do think that. I think the sculpting on the jacket and the pants and the belt and everything is immaculate, but I think he definitely captures Trunks' likeness a lot more on the Matchmaker's one, a lot more accurately, even though they both definitely still look like Trunks. And these figures, I have to say, oh man, seeing these two is really, really cool. This one Trunks figure is one of my favorites of all time. It was also one of the first ones in my collection back in 2017, 2018, whenever I started collecting. And man, it is cool to see these two next to each other. Obviously, this Trunks is technically the same one that we are seeing here. Obviously, this is just when the coat is off. And my man is throwing hands with Android 18 in the future. But very, very cool to see these guys next to each other. And it is interesting as well to see the way that he sculpted the hair on both of these. Because the way that he sculpted his hair, right? You can see with the Matchmaker's one, it's obviously blowing back in the wind. And it looks perfectly like his hair. And the 2017 WFC one obviously also looks like his hair, but just kind of fluffed about, right? Because obviously he's throwing his head back and everything is going crazy in the wind. But these two figures look great together, and I hope that you enjoyed my video on the Matchmaker's Trunks. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like and sub. I am trying to get this channel boosted up, because obviously this is the brand new channel for all of the Dragon Ball figure unboxing content. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you would like to support upcoming figure videos, please go ahead and head over to the Patreon. Any little bit that you can give over there to support your boy is always appreciated, but of course, please do not feel obligated, because you watching the videos is what's important to me, and that you enjoy them most of all, of course. If you'd like to pick up this figure, of course, I will leave some links in the description to do so. Definitely, I would highly recommend this figure, whether you're a Trunks fan or not. This is just a beautifully sculpted Dragon Ball figure that I think should easily be in any collector's collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.